on.
Hi, you're listening to Derek Holt, founder member of the Climax Blues Band, and you're also listening to Ray Sasho on Interviewing the Legends.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Sasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Rockstar Chronicles, Series 1, my new book featuring over 45 intimate conversations with the greatest music legends the world will ever know. It's available now at bookbaby.com and Amazon.com. Derek Holt has written, sung, played on hit records, toured with bands throughout the world, has managed a studio that consistently produced hit singles of the 90s, writes and produces music for film and television. But Derek Holt is most recognized for being a founding member, singer, songwriter, and musician for the legendary Climax Blues Band. He was their guitarist, but later switched to bass and keyboards. During the late 70s, the Climax Blues Band produced a string of self-penned singles and albums, which not only sold well, but also received considerable critical acclaim. The Climax Blues Band released 19 albums, and it had hits with Couldn't Get It Right and one of my favorites, I Love You, which was written and performed by Derek Holt. Couldn't Get It Right reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1977, and I Love You peaked at number 12 in 1981. Please welcome multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter, most recognized as being a founding member for the Climax Blues Band, Derek Holt, Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Derek.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You were born January 26th, correct?
Yes.
I was born January 27th.
An Aquarian.
Yeah, we're Aquarians, man. It's cool.
A fellow Aquarian. Yeah. That's not bad.
We're
this
good
is
people.
The dawning. This is the dawning of the age, you know.
Well, they say that, but I don't feel any different. Do you?
Just certainly getting times marching on.
I know what you mean. You look great, by the way.
Well, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. Thanks. I'm the grand old age of 72 now, so still standing, still upright, still playing, still writing. So you know.
Well, that's the main thing. Well, what are you doing now lately? What's going on?
Well, funnily enough, it's a long story really, but basically I'm living on an island called Majorca, which is just off the coast of mainland Spain,
right
in the Mediterranean. And the reason for that was we decided to just move out of England for a bit and just have a bit of nice weather, you know. I mean, it's always raining there, and I'm a sunshine boy, really, and I like the beach. So we're just trying it out, and it's very nice at the moment. Yeah. And
what's is it cityfied, or is it kind of?
Oh no, it's like we live in the north of the island. It's like a big village,
right?
Of probably only 2,000 or 3,000 people.
Wow, beautiful.
That's about it, right? I mean, and then you get the tourists, and then the thing goes up to maybe 10,000 people. But more often than not, there aren't many people here, and we know everybody, so it's people toot the horns, and it's nice. It's a nice laid back place, and it's quite easy as well. It's everything's pretty easy to get to. The supermarkets are easy, and the roads, there's no traffic. It's just nice.
The COVID thing, how did that affect the island?
Devastated tourism.
Really?
Which of course is the main income for the island. They just totally rely on people coming in, spending their money, and a lot of business has gone out of business, and people are definitely struggling.
Yeah. Are the hospitals pretty good on the island?
Yeah, the health service is really good, actually.
Good.
It does help if you speak Spanish, but I'm not there yet with that. So,
hey man, there's no excuse.
I take an interpreter with me.
My family on my mother's side, they're from Catalonia, Spain.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Have you ever
yes,
been?
I can speak a little bit,
Yeah.
but they came from Spain to Cuba. So my mom was born in Cuba. My grandmother was born in Asturias, Spain, and my
Right.
grandfather in Catalonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the people. I think they're
Hmm.
all very, very friendly and very helpful as well. And they do appreciate it when you try and speak a bit of the language, which we do try to do. In fact, we're always having lessons.
Yeah,
Trying to get by, but they speak so fast.
they do speak fast.
And I'm not up to speed yet.
I always say the Spanish talk like Sylvester the cat. Thuckerin, thuckatash. They have that th
Yeah,
that they add to everything.
yeah, yeah.
Barcelona, Barcelona. It's
And also, where we are in Mallorca, they have another dialect
really,
from Catalan.
yeah, from Catalan. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are
Oh,
probably three different languages
wow.
where we are. And so
Yeah,
trying to learn one's bad enough.
that's awesome. I
So,
always wanted to live on an island. Be
well,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah. You know what I want to talk about first? uh, you guys, which was awesome back in the day. Yeah, I guess around '68. You recorded in Abbey Road.
yeah,
You guys were in Studio One. The Beatles were in Studio Two. Pink Floyd was at Studio Three. I mean, that's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. We'd all got day jobs as well,
Yeah.
and we took 2 days off our day jobs to go into Abbey Road. Basically, EMI at the time were looking for a blues band to because there was a sort of a blues boom happening,
Right.
and we sort of got scouted. Somebody came to see us and said, "Would you like to record an album?" We never discussed any business or anything like that. It was just basically, yeah, we'd like to record an album, but it's going to be in Abbey Road in London. Can you come down for a couple of days? Sure. So we all piled into a van and arrived at Abbey Road, unloaded the gear into Studio One, and the engineer producer is a guy called Chris Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
who was one of George Martin's protege producers. And off we went. We did 2 days in the studio, and we got to play the Mellotron that was on Strawberry Fields Forever.
Wow.
McCartney himself popped into the studio.
Very cool.
Said, hi guys. I mean, can you imagine? I'm 18 years old, and a Beatle looks at me and through the glass window, and it's like, wake me up. Yeah, mate, amazing. So
It's a shame. Shame you didn't get any pictures back then, or
No, well, I think it was one of those moments that if only you'd had the camera. Although we did meet McCartney on a few occasions further on up the road in various studios, because his allegiance was with George Martin, who had a studio eventually in Oxford Circus called Air Studios. And we met McCartney there when he was doing Venus and Mars album and the Frog Chorus and all that. And so we bumped into a few times. I have got a photo of that actually, where we were all in his studio listening to him. Met Linda, and it was lovely.
Did you get to meet Floyd at all?
I met Dave Gilmour in a rehearsal room.
Yeah.
And I met Roger Waters when they played. I come from a town called Stafford in England, and there used to be a gig there called Bingley Hall, which was basically just a big metal shed,
right,
used for agricultural purposes. Anyway, that became quite a good venue, and Pink Floyd did that venue twice. And people like the Rolling Stones and Queen and ABBA did this thing until the neighbours started to complain about the noise. So it was unbelievable. But yeah, I met Roger Waters very briefly, Dave Gilmour very briefly. But the thing about Dave Gilmour was we were in one rehearsal room and he was in another, rehearsing something with, I don't know who with. But I just heard this, like the intro to Run Like Hell, just on his guitar, and then like a repeat thing. And I thought, oh, that sounds like Dave Gilmour. Anyway, I wandered in, and there was just him, just tuning up. And I said, wow, you know, I said, it sounded like you, and it is, you know, it's one of those, another moment of jaw dropping, you know.
Exactly.
He's also one of my favorite players.
Oh, me too. Yeah, me too. You guys got out of the gate big, strong, because you had Chris Thompson as a producer.
Chris Thomas.
Chris Thomas, yeah.
Yeah.
What a resume.
Yeah, I mean, well, eventually he went on to produce Roxy Music, Elton John, The Pretenders, you know. So, I mean, I guess we were all there at the very beginning, really, including him. You know, he was just learning the ropes. Yeah. And
you had Miles Copeland. When did he start managing the band?
I think probably around about 1971, 72.
Okay.
And that was purely by chance. We were playing at a very famous little club in London called the Marquee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which you've probably heard of.
Sure.
A lot of bands cut their teeth there. And we were just driving to the gig, and he saw us. And he saw us in the van. And he said, "Hey guys, I want to meet you. I want to manage you guys." So we're playing at the Marquee tonight. So he came and introduced himself, and that was that. That was the start of our relationship with him, you know.
Yeah.
And he had a few bands on his books. He had Wishbone Ash, Renaissance,
yeah.
Caravan.
Yeah. I just had Jim McCarty on the show recently.
Yeah, oh, right, okay.
And I'm friends with Annie Haslam. I talk to her sometimes.
Really? Well, if you do speak to Annie,
I do.
Mention my name, Derek. You know,
okay.
Because I remember Renaissance really, really fondly. Yeah,
Annie's
she'll remember
cool.
me.
Oh yeah, Annie's. I love Annie. She is so. She's in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Do they still go out?
Oh yeah. She was very disappointed with the COVID thing because they had a big tour planned and they had to cancel other tours. And but they're gonna slowly get back out there again. They just released a new live video, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it again. You know.
I hope you do. Well,
I did a couple of years ago. I was invited to Seattle to try and put another Climax Blues Band.
You should.
There is a Climax Blues Band.
I saw it.
With no original members.
That sucks.
Sort of it does annoy me.
It's terrible.
Anyway, I went to Seattle and I met up with a guy called Anthony Lilly, who's not really a music manager, but he's very keen on putting something together. Anyway, he put me together with the bass player from Bad Company, Lynn Sorensen.
Sure.
Tony Coleman, who was B.B. King's drummer for 30 years. Fantastic. And a couple of other guys, Rick Knott on guitar and Mike Merrick on keyboards. We did some dates over in Seattle and Montana and Portland, Oregon. And it was fantastic.
Good.
And then, of course, COVID happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Shut us down. And time marches on, as I say. So I'm not sure whether anything can happen again. But I'd love to, you know, I never actually got to sing I Love You live in America, ever.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Such a big hit. You know, it's one of those long-lasting songs that it's on top 40 minds forever. You know, it's always there.
I hope it continues because
it will.
It's just nice, you know. It's just nice.
Isn't it nice to make a hit like that that has that staying power all these years?
Yeah, it's a bit bittersweet as well because two of the guys in the band didn't like the song.
I heard about that.
I shouldn't go into that.
Well, they didn't support you either, right?
Yeah, well, you know the story then.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're gonna, make money from the record,
Well, it's also about the thing is that we'd waited for another hit.
Mm-hmm.
We had one.
Right.
We had a tour booked.
Right.
And the tour was pulled while the I Love You still going up the charts, and because they wouldn't go on their own to support it.
Doesn't make any sense, does it? That's not a good business decision on their part.
Well, we needed good management and we hadn't got it then.
Yeah.
We'd left Miles and obviously had great success with the police, and we missed the boat.
Well, it's never too late.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
I had Miles on the show. I had Miles Copeland on the show.
All right. He's just brought a book out.
And I had Andy Summers on the show like last week. So
okay.
I know you're friends with Stuart Copeland,
Stuart,
right?
Yeah. I remember Stuart as a 12-year-old boy playing drums in a cellar in Marx's house in London.
That's crazy.
And it's one of those things. Stick at it, Stuart. Famous last words.
You need to put that band back together and tour as Climax Blues Band. There's no reason why you should.
Yeah. I'm doing some writing with the original bass player,
Good.
Richard Jones.
Awesome.
During lockdown, we've come up with an album of material, about a dozen songs, and it might be good to maybe use some of that, for maybe a Climax Blues Band, new Climax Blues Band album. So,
well, it'd be nice to have an original member of the band,
Well, there'll be two then. So,
look at the Little River Band. There's no original members, and they're big as ever. I don't get that.
Yeah. It's all about owning the name as well. So
yeah, exactly.
There would be some contention there, I think. But we'll see. Never say never.
Never say never. One of the your first album I revisited because it's such a good album. It's a genuine blues rock album, and I'm talking about Plays On from 1969. What an incredible album that is, man.
We just started to experiment then as well.
Oh, that was awesome.
Sounds, saxophone going through a Leslie.
Oh, that saxophone on Flight was incredible.
Yeah.
And some of my favorite tunes, Hey Baby, Everything's Gonna Be All Right.
Yeah.
Awesome tune. Hey, how about Cubano Chant? Where did that come from?
With the flute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was hey baby. There's an album with Crazy About My Baby on it. Do you know that? I don't know which album that is.
Okay.
But
one of the early albums?
One of the early albums.
Okay.
Crazy About My Baby. It could even be the first album. Maybe the second album. Definitely Chris Thomas. And the thing is, I mentioned before, Chris Thomas produced Roxy Music.
Right.
When they did Let's Stick Together, they ripped off our intro to Crazy About My Baby.
Really?
So you should, if you ever listen to that, But maybe I shouldn't say ripped off, but it's exactly the same.
It happens. Look how many people Led Zeppelin ripped off, if you really want to get down to it. All the old blues guys.
Well, I remember recently, I did some gigs with Randy California, and there was a big lawsuit, wasn't it, with his estate.
That's right.
The intro to
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
And they lost. So,
yeah. But, the Small Faces were ripped off big time. They didn't get enough credit. That, 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 He did a lot of original tunes that were ripped off as
He
well.
was great.
I loved him, man. He's
I
incredible.
did some gigs with him in America.
The Steve Marriott, yeah.
Yeah, he'd broken his leg on one of the gigs, and he sat on the chair with crutches and still sang and played guitar. Fantastic! What a star! Yeah.
He did a tour with you all. It was Steve Marriott's All Stars. That's when I saw him. He put a band together. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Some of the track "Mum's the Word." Is that you on keyboards?
Yeah.
That's a very spacey tune, man.
Yeah, I mean, we was around about that era. We were certainly experimenting and do what we do, don't we?
Yeah.
And we had the time to do it, to experiment, probably through lack of songs, really. Just, quite a lot of stuff was written in the studio, which I found very, the best way of doing stuff, being creative, just going in, see what happens.
Exactly.
No rules.
No rules. Leave the mistakes in.
Yeah. Well, just the studio environment is just so creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. No click tracks.
Yeah. You know what an interesting track is? I've never heard anything like this before. It was 20 past 2, Temptation Rag, because it starts out with an incredible slide, blues slide, and then it kind of gets into ragtime piano. It kind of
that was Arthur Wood.
Oh man.
Arthur Wood was the Scott Joplin.
Yeah, it's the Scott Joplin thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He also came up with the idea of using. It was originally, what's it called? Also Sprach Zarathustra.
Mm-hmm.
The theme to 2001.
2001, right?
Before the film was ever made.
Really?
That's how ahead he was.
Wow.
Yeah. On a song called And Lonely, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was an intro to And Lonely, which was the first album. And that was Arthur experimenting then. He only stayed for 2 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were ahead of your time at this point, I thought. You really were.
Well, we were. I think we were all really good people. The guitarist he was probably only 16 or 17 years of age, but he was, the top guy,
Mm-hmm.
young man, and he got it. He got the sound and everything, fingers and soul.
Yeah. You guys remind me a little bit like Fleetwood Mac, how they started out, the blues band. And as they progressed, they got more, top 40 hits and that kind of thing.
Sometimes I often wonder whether the name Climax Blues Band wasn't, sort of a holding us back type name, really.
Right.
Because we started to obviously venture to be a little bit more commercial. And I remember doing a gig over in Canada. I went and joined the band over there, and it was Derek Holt, ex-Climax Blues Band. And of course, I was playing I Love You and stuff like that. The guy shouts out, play some blues. So I said, all right then. So launched into whatever it was. And because you're recognized as being from the Climax Blues Band.
That's right.
So you do have to play blues, some blues.
But were you okay the direction the band was headed? Like with FM Live and gold plated and albums.
I just think we started to become, even though we'd had 12 or 13 albums, we started to become writers.
Yes.
Songwriters.
Yeah.
And especially me, because I was always the bass player, backing vocalist, and one part of the rhythm section.
Right.
We used to call it the stars in the rhythm section. But I was in the rhythm section. So.
You're in the rhythm section.
But then yeah, I started coming forward a bit, you know, started singing more and well, I was always harmonizing, but I started taking lead vocals in places. And then, of course, I write I Love You. And that became, you know, I became the singer for a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love it. I mean, I love singing. I love
You got a great
writing.
voice.
Yeah, well, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
We need to hear more of you.
I've still got the voice. You know.
Good. Do you smoke at all, or
Now and again.
yeah, it doesn't affect your voice?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, I don't smoke enough.
I interviewed the great Dionne Warwick, and I said, "Man, you must have taken care of your voice all these years. I guess you don't smoke." And she said, "No, I've been smoking since I was 13."
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
the myth.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's you know, I can't just turn it on.
Right.
I'll have to have a little sing with it, especially if I'm recording, you know.
Yeah.
I'll sing it through a couple of times and then go for it.
Yeah,
I'm still lucky to have a voice. Still lucky.
Yeah. But you look great, man. You're doing something right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think it's probably the weather as well. It's nice. It's nice today. It's lovely.
You drink a little
Whereabouts are
wine
you?
there in Spain?
Oh yeah, I love the wine.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, especially the red. I mean, it's delicious.
I want to invite everyone to go back and it's this is on YouTube. Plays On. It's from 1969. I want everybody to check out that album because it's a kind of a lost treasure, I guess. You know, because when you think of the Climax Blues Band, and I remember the album cover from Gold Plated. I mean that that sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
You always think of that album cover. So.
Well, I like the cover on Plays On as well. It's the guy with the cricket bat, you know.
Yeah.
And then, it's a very famous picture actually.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember who by, but I think it was titled Out First Ball.
Really?
Because it's the guy with the cricket bat and and a forlorn look on his face, and the ball and the stumps have gone.
If you get that original album out, it's probably worth some money.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I've still got all the vinyl in
Do
the
you?
box somewhere. Yeah. Fantastic.
Well, you guys' big hit, which was a really cool song, was Couldn't Get It Right. Of course, that came first, I guess, before I Love You, right?
1976 was
Yep.
Couldn't Get It Right. And when Miles was our manager, we did an album for his record company, which is called BTM.
Mm-hmm.
And they were distributed by RCA. And that album was produced by, I don't know whether you remember a guy called Mike Vernon, who produced the very early Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anyway, he produced Gold Plated in a little village in England. And we delivered the album to RCA, and they said, we can't really hear anything commercial enough to put on the radio.
Really?
Can you go back in the studio and try and write something commercial? And that's what we did. We just went in there 2 days, 3 days, and wrote Couldn't Get It Right in the studio. How about that?
It feels like yesterday when that came out. It really does.
Well, I still think it sounds great.
Such a hip song, you know?
Yeah, I mean, considering that even with all music technology today, you know,
Yeah.
It's just analog. It's just raw. Yeah.
Great
I'm happy
tune.
with it. Still goes on.
Yes, it does. That and I Love You. They're both out there continuously.
I just think it's fantastic that they still live.
Yeah.
Things, and hopefully one day maybe go and try and tour and just play the stuff to people.
Play it live in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be great. So if there's any promoters out there,
Oh yeah. I know a handful here in the Tampa. I'm in Tampa Bay, by the way, in Florida.
okay. Oh, lovely. Yeah.
So I can hook you up with some promoters out here. You know,
Okay.
I cover all the venues and all that stuff.
That's where Pete Haycock got his Valeno.
Really?
John Valeno. Do you remember that? You know the cover of Gold Plated,
Right.
which is the saxophone and
Right.
guitar. Well, that guitar is the Valeno,
Right.
which became it was made of aluminum. And, that was made by a guy from, I think, Tampa.
Oh,
John Valeno.
how about that?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. We got a lot of rockers that live around here.
Really?
Yeah, they like the sun, man. And Brian Johnson's over here in Sarasota. Rick Derringer.
Oh, I remember Rick from Edgar Winter.
Yeah.
I toured with Edgar, and I got to know Rick quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all like the sunshine.
They all like the sunshine. Yeah. Drummer from the Moody Blues. He's been here for a long time.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he's from my neck of the woods in England.
Really?
From Birmingham.
Yeah.
So yeah, we heading towards the sun.
Yeah. Reel to Reel. You guys recorded that in George Martin's studio?
That was Air Studios in Montserrat.
Yeah. What was that all about? The Caribbean.
We were the first band in there.
Huh.
We were treated like it was one of those things. If you pay your airfares, guys,
right,
we'll let you use the studio, which was sort of still being built, and we basically did our album Reel to Reel there. We spent 3 months there.
3 months.
3 months, yeah. Well, the place kept breaking down for a start. It was quite a lot of trouble with the power. You know, everything needs to be steady and steady voltage. And they were using generators, so it became a bit of a day on, day off, 2 days off,
right?
Three days on. So that's why it took so long. What a beautiful island! It was just fantastic. And of course, the amount of people that went in after us, you know, the Police and
right.
Jimmy Buffett. We had dinner with Jimmy Buffett there. You know, the Rolling Stones went in there. So yeah, we led the way, I think.
Very cool.
Nice one. George Martin and Jeff Emerick.
Jeff Emerick,
the guy that engineered all the Beatles.
He was incredible. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so it's a fair history, really.
You know, I was very lucky. I was at a seminar with George Martin. This was in Virginia at the Birchmere, very, very rare. And he did a talk about Sgt. Pepper's. So he, you know, and he had film and a very, very intimate setting, talking about the Beatles when they would go off and take a break to smoke pot and then come back like little kids giggling. You know, little things like that. It was pretty cool to hear George Martin for like 2 hours on this, you know, talking about the Beatles and everything.
I think that album in particular is amazing how they did that, because it was, I think it was 2 full tracks. Yeah. And bouncing, you know, well, you understand how it works.
Sure.
Brave decisions made on that. We're going to bounce. We're going to bounce the drums and the vocals. Everybody happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine? And it's still a fantastic sounding album today. So
I didn't realize how much input McCartney had on the orchestra. You know, he would go up to the guys in the orchestra and say, I want it just like this. I want it to sound just like this. I thought maybe the orchestra might have had some input on some of the songs, but it was all him and John, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think George was amazing as well.
Oh yeah, he was a fifth Beatle, definitely.
That, you know, orchestral background. The thing is, it's like people talk about Ringo Starr. You know, I mean, I think he was perfect.
He was perfect. Yeah,
And everything he played was just right.
exactly.
And I didn't know that he was a left-handed drummer
Yeah.
on a right-handed kit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, yeah, the Beatles were the Beatles before them.
Yeah.
Plus George.
Yeah. I interviewed Pete Best, and I actually saw him playing in concert, but you can see that, the difference, it was a big difference in drumming, and I understand why they made the decision. The only thing I don't understand is why they didn't talk to the guy all those years,
Yeah. Well, I'd heard also that Paul McCartney had given him a generous monetary gift.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. That's
which I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how true it is, but if it is true, then
yeah, I think that's correct. I think that is correct. I think I read that.
Yeah. So, shame he missed the boat, really. But then again, the Beatles became the Beatles because of Ringo.
Oh, you had to have Ringo.
And this, George Harrison's sublime, fantastic.
Yeah.
Go on, George. We'll give you one song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And he writes something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were all worried about Ringo after they split up, right?
Yeah.
He's done really well with that all-star band, man. I've covered a couple of his shows, it's amazing. And he looks great, doesn't he? He's in his 80s.
Yeah, I know, fantastic.
He looks wonderful.
I think they're vegetarians, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe there is something to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wine. And wine, lots of wine.
Oh, halfway there then.
I want to mention your hit, I Love You. It says it still gets over 20,000 radio hits a year in the US. And let's see, it was used in Finn Taylor's 2002 film Cherish, and in Kevin Smith's 2008 film Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
How lovely.
How lovely, huh?
Yeah, I remember when somebody came up with that and said they want to license a song for that, but
right,
it had who's the guy? Joe, film star, Egan, Josh.
Okay.
Anyway, cut that out.
Cut it out. I'm not a big Hollywood guy anyway.
Well, I mean, he's a famous actor and comedian, and I thought, yeah, well, if he's in it, it's got to be something.
Right.
But the place where they put the song was right at the end, which was great, because as the titles came up, the I Love You was playing. It's like, what a perfect place,
Right.
So it's all over the credits are rolling as the song's playing, and yeah, brilliant. Very happy with that.
Yeah.
It's just exposure, and why not?
What a beautiful song, though.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love singing it.
Yeah.
I love playing it.
Well, we need to hear you sing it in America, like it was meant to happen.
Well, let's sort the tour out, and
yes.
Yeah. Do you play anything?
I play a little guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're on then. Okay.
I had a band. Everybody's had a band, I when in high school, I had long hair down to here. I looked like Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But rock and roll's been my life, man, since I was a kid, listening to top 40 radio, and I love it. The 60s were the greatest.
You certainly got some quite a good list of people that you've interviewed.
I do. It's amazing. I look back now and I said, really? Yeah. I'm running out of people, though.
Oh dear. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I wrote a book, Rockstar Chronicles. This is series 1. I'm going to do 4. And in this book, there's maybe 9 or 10 people that are not with us anymore, like Johnny Winter, people like that,
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, in our sort of heyday in the mid 70s, all the 70s really, we played with Johnny, Edgar, Skinner,
Everybody. Yeah.
ZZ Top, everybody, you know,
Yeah.
and everybody was, you know, most of them were all nice people, you know,
Yeah.
and we had a whale of a time, just fantastic. Skinner, brilliant.
Yeah.
We used to sing, go up on stage and sing Sweet Home Alabama with the girls, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah, just
that's very cool.
You know, just invited on, just come and join us.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, Climax Blues Band was a great band, great group. I really loved them. You know,
yeah.
they were very
Well,
much
those
part of all
guys-
that scene. Yeah.
Two of those guys are no longer with
I
us.
know. I hate that. I hate when, you know, rock stars go away, leave us. You know, it bothers me. It really does.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but I
keep
understand.
drinking.
I just had a scare. I just got out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, can you say what it was or is?
It came out of nowhere. We went to dinner. I came home. I had a pain in my chest, and come to find out I had liquid around my heart. So they had to drain that. Came home, and I still wasn't breathing right. I went back to the hospital, and they had to drain my lung. Never had issues. Never.
Wow.
I don't smoke. You know, I'm like you. I drink some wine once in a while, but that's about it. Run on the treadmill. I don't know, man. Just happens.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Well,
It's
there's
scary.
no rules. No rules.
No
to any of it.
rules. No rules. I keep
mean,
thinking, is it what I did back in high school and all those days coming to haunt me? You know? I mean, they say pot doesn't affect your lungs like cigarettes, right? I did smoke a lot of pot, you know. I mean, I admit that, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think you know we probably did everything, you know,
Sure.
along the way. But I was sort of quite lucky in a way that whenever I left tour, went back home to England, I stopped.
Right.
I became, if you like, normal again.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that just carried on, you know.
I know.
Just carried on smoking and toking and tooting and all the stuff. And yeah, I was able to switch it off.
Every time I talk to somebody, they say, "Oh yeah, I just had bypass surgery." They're like Mark Farner from Grand Funk. He went through hell. Tommy Rowe, remember Tommy Rowe back in the 60s? He just, you know, same thing. I mean, it's crazy. Everybody I talk to, you know, they've been through something. Yeah.
I had prostate cancer.
Do you?
I did have.
It's under control. Yeah, they can control that, right?
I had it taken out.
That's probably the best thing. That's the best thing. Yeah.
That was out of the blue. But I dealt with it. I caught it early. And,
right.
You know.
Good for you.
So to all those men out there, get checked.
Get checked. I had a biopsy done.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't show cancer, but you know, it's a scary thing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I got it. My consultant said. He said you can have radiotherapy. He said I don't recommend that. Chemo, don't recommend it.
No.
If we take it out, a good chance of curing you.
Right.
And I said I'll have that.
That's the best thing when I understand.
He was right, you know.
Yep. Good for you.
So yeah, I'm lucky. I'm very lucky. Touch.
Yep. Good doctor. Yeah.
What can you say?
Yeah.
Keep going.
For you. Hey man, you live on an island in Spain. You're doing all right.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I miss. I do miss the hustle and bustle of stuff.
Right.
But then again, you know, there's no stress.
Exactly.
And that's probably one of the biggest killers.
Yeah.
but I do need to get out and tour again, definitely. So if I'm able to do it, what I mean by that is if anybody's interested in putting anything together,
Oh, definitely.
worth going for, just go for the fun of
You
it.
you can put an all-star band together if you really wanted to, you know.
Mm.
You know enough people where you can.
It's about bums on seats, and I don't mean that like that. Selling seats.
Well, if you want me to put out the words to some people, I can do that too.
That might be a good idea, Ray.
I'll have people talk to you if you want.
Just see if there's any interest.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we are sort of an older band, but we do have a little bit of history, and maybe people would like to hear it.
Would you consider being part of the like a kind of like a Ringo thing, like an all-star type thing where there's other bands involved from the generation?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, anything would work, really.
And the cruises are hot. The cruises are really hot.
Yeah.
You can get on one of those cruises pretty easy, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we need to connect, man, don't we, with somebody? And, there's no problem putting a band together over there.
Right.
Yeah, it's just having the break. The breaks. I live a long way away. I should have lived there, really. but always went back home.
Two things I want to just talk about real quick. Night of the Guitars. What? Yeah. I don't know how I missed that. What an event.
One of Miles's brainwaves, genius ideas.
Wow.
He invited me to be the bass player on a tour of guitarists, right. Really big guitarists, names guitarists.
Incredible.
And, do you want to list the names?
Robbie Krieger, Randy California, Leslie West, Robin Trower, Steve Howe, Alvin Lee, which I'd met. I love Alvin Lee. I was heartbroken when he passed. Jan Ackerman from Focus, Steve Hunter, Lou Reed, Ted Turner, and Annie Powell from Wishbone Ash, and much more.
From Climax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a 3-hour show.
That's incredible.
And basically every guitarist did probably 2 or 3 songs. And then they'd work it out. 2 guitarists would go together.
Yeah.
At one point, Leslie West and Alvin Lee were on the stage together, and I was playing the bass.
Wow.
And, Jan Ackerman was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I got to play Sylvia, which is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yep.
And the whole tour was fantastic.
That's unbelievable. I wish they'd do that again.
Well, yes, I know. I must admit there were a lot of egos on that stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was very interesting to see how they worked all that out. Right. I got to play bass with Chuck Berry. Did you know that?
That was my next question. Chuck Berry.
That's one of my favorite stories. We were playing in Barcelona. Climax. We were playing on a festival.
How about that in Spain, huh?
Yeah, Barcelona. And, the promoter said, would you, for another €50, back Chuck Berry? I said, yeah, fantastic. So he arrived late into his dressing room. I went into his dressing room. I said, hello, Chuck. My name is Derek Holt. I'm your bass player for tonight. What songs are you doing? He said, Chuck Berry songs. And knock next time you want to come in.
Oh, gosh.
It's like that, It wasn't a good start.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did it. It was great.
I heard he punched Keith Richards in the face.
You ever seen the film Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll?
I did see that. Yeah.
I think, great film.
Yeah.
Chuck's 60. Yeah, tough guy, you know.
Yeah.
But look at the songs he wrote.
He was the pioneer, you know, guys
Right.
like him, Little Richard, you know.
So yeah, I consider myself, you know, quite lucky to have just had the opportunity, really.
So you did all the songs, right?
Yeah, he was pretty naughty on stage, really, because he'd start one of his riffs, for instance, you know, Johnny Be Good. He'd start it in A,
Right.
and not tell us, and then I'd shout to the keyboard player, A, you know, and then as soon as we were going to launch into the song,
Yeah.
we'd change it to C
Oh
or something,
man.
just to check us out. You know?
Yeah.
And that was the thing. I mean, if his band didn't work well, he would just stop. He'd just get off and get in his car and take the money and run. You know,
Tough customer.
he expected everybody to know his.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah. Another guy was tough, was Buddy Rich. You know. Yeah. He was very demanding.
He would have frightened me.
Yeah.
Well, that great drummer.
You get to meet Jimi Hendrix at all, or no?
No,
No?
I missed my chance there. I lived in the town, as I say, in Stafford, in England,
Right.
and he was playing one night in Stoke, which was 15 miles away, and I hadn't got a car. You know, I took
Right.
the bus, and I thought, no, I won't bother. But one of my biggest regrets,
Yeah.
not seeing Jimmy, because he was, you know, a huge hero of mine. You know, one of my heroes.
Well, everybody I talked to that knew him, he was a nice guy. No ego, you know, he was just very laid back.
He came across as being,
Yeah.
cool, inventive, great, just fantastic. And I still listen to him now,
Me too.
and I still get inspired.
Never gets old. His music never gets
know.
old. Yeah.
People have, you know, tried to do it and copy and whatever, but he was the governor, the number
Yep.
one.
It sure
Me,
was.
Anyway. Little Wing,
Mm-hmm.
Angel, you know.
I like Machine
Six
Gun.
Machine Gun and all that. Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Well, you opened up a thing called the Grapes Music Bar. How did that work out?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah?
What it was, you know, there came a point when I wasn't touring and everything started to slow down and become more difficult, really. I mean, tours of America stopped, and just what am I going to do now? You know, I thought I've always wanted to have a bar or own a bar
Sure.
and have live music in the bar. So it was a perfect combination. I like drinking and I like playing. So, you know, so we opened this place in Stafford. Became very, very successful. I was playing probably 4 or 5 nights a week with different people, different bands, as you say, different stars and
Right.
different artists around the country. And then suddenly we were sort of outdone by competition.
Really?
Just coming in, selling beer cheaper.
Did you sell it? Sell it to somebody else?
Yeah, we were only tenants there anyway.
Because I read some reviews and they said it was the happening place. It was a great bar, the Grapes Music Bar. There was nothing like it, you know. And but now it can't measure up to the way things used to be. So
yeah, I think the thing is, I was passionate about the place.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of rock and music memorabilia that belonged to me. I put on the walls, posters and photographs, and
sure.
I mean, I put a PA in there and proper lights and everything, and it just became a really, really intimate, good venue, you know. But the thing is, it was 7 days a week, and boy, it's a tough.
It's tough. How long did you have it?
12 years.
That's a long time, man.
Oh man, I tell you, I'm surprised I left there. You know.
Any bar business for 12 years is tough, you know?
Yeah.
I almost did the same thing. I was going to open up the same thing, a club with live music, and I was going to bring in famous entertainers. I talked to a lot of management companies and publicists and everything. They're ready to, even Alvin Lee was going to play at the club. I was looking at Georgetown in DC, downtown in DC.
Yeah.
And then I figured, you know what? I'll never see my wife again and probably get a divorce.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, it's a 24/7 commitment. You know?
You've got to be on it. It's, I mean, we basically wore us out, really. We just, apart from it, sort of the decline in punters because of the competition around us.
Right.
I mean, basically, you know, we were selling, I don't know, a pint of beer, for example, £2,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be a bar next door selling for £1.
Yeah.
So people would go there and then come to us late
That
and not
sucks.
spend anything. You know, our expenses are still the same. You know.
Did you have food?
Yeah, we supplied food. We had to supply food for
Yeah.
the license. We had a late license,
Right.
but we'd be open from 10 in the morning till 3 in the morning.
Wow.
And
That's unusual. Yeah.
yeah, just
Hmm.
like a treadmill, like a mouse on a treadmill. When
I heard it
got
was
to
a great
Monday-
place.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, we had a lovely clientele,
Yeah.
and regular people. You know, it was good fun.
Yeah. I want to ask you one last thing. The Wandering, is it Trobies?
Yeah,
Wandering Trobies?
yeah.
Are you still doing that?
No, that's quite
Yeah.
a while ago now.
That
Yeah,
was an
that
acoustic
was-
three
Yeah, just three of us. Yeah, one guy played pedal steel and slide on his lap. Three of us could sing. Two
Mhm.
acoustics, pedal steel,
Right.
banjo occasionally, just doing
A
covers.
little bit of
really.
fun.
But 3-part harmony was we used to do songs by the band and
Mhm.
the night they drove all Dixie down.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Bit of Tom Petty.
Yeah. Very cool.
Just good fun, really.
Good fun. Yeah.
You know, we had no illusions of grandeur. I like the name The Wandering Trobies.
Who came up with that?
Well, one of us did.
Yeah.
I was
Very
going to have
different.
a tribute band called I Can Turn a Corner.
I can turn a corner. I like that.
Yeah, somebody will use it. Yeah.
Derek, here's your
Yeah.
final question. I ask
Well-
everybody this question. I get some very interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Oh, probably. Well, I doubt whether it would ever happen with Hendrix, but I certainly think it could happen with Dave Gilmour,
Mm-hmm.
just because I love his playing. And he's a similar sort of guy to me as well in terms of his music. You know, I love Pink Floyd music,
Yeah.
and I'd love to be the bass player. I could kill that gig.
Yeah. Is that, did you say Dave Hill of Slade?
Dave Gilmour.
Oh, Dave Gilmour. I thought you said Dave Hill for some reason. Yeah, Dave
No.
Gilmour. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Gilmour of Pink Floyd.
So you want to be the Roger Waters, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, they don't even speak now, do they?
Nah, they'll never get back together again. That was what I understand.
So, such a shame.
Yeah.
Then again, you know, I mean, the thing is that Dave Gilmour carried on. He was told he couldn't be Pink Floyd. He said, "Why not?
Yeah.
You know, I'm the guitarist." A bit like my situation, really, with Climax. You can't do that because
Right.
you know. So why not? I'm an original member,
That's right.
so I can.
Yes,
I
you
should.
can. You definitely can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope you do.
Well, as I say too, you know, it's about having somebody interested enough to guide me. I mean, I'm not manager. I'm a musician. I'm a
Yeah,
songwriter.
right.
I need that. I need somebody to believe in it.
Yeah.
in
I'll
order
be
to
checking
help,
around. I'm going to check
help,
around for you. I
help
mean,
me do
I
it.
know a
you
lot
know.
of people, and who knows, maybe I'll put a band together for you.
Okay, you've just got to light the flame.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'll burn.
There's so many guys that want to tour now, because of the COVID thing. They're dying to get back on the road. And here in Florida, we got full houses again. There's no restrictions,
Mm.
you know.
Well, that's definitely one step forward. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no restrictions at all.
Fantastic.
Derek, anything else you want to promote? I've got your Facebook site, www.facebook.com/Derek Holt Music. Is there any other sites or anything else we need to talk about?
Well, we've got a book.
Oh, you got a book. Oh, wow. Nice. Definitely promote the hell out of that. What's it called?
Well, it's called Using the Power, 1968 to 77.
Fantastic.
And there's also another one coming out from 77 to 82.
Okay.
But it was a limited run, and I'm not sure how many are left, but you can basically inquire.
Okay.
There's if you can promote this, it's called
Sure.
www.moonshine
Okay.
editions.com.
Moonshine, is that the publisher? Moonshine?
That's the publisher, yeah.
Okay. Is it on Amazon at all or no?
Well, no, as I say, we haven't got that far with it. We just wanted to test the water with it. But it's a very, very nice pictorial book, It's like,
fantastic. There's your pictures I was talking about.
yeah, just beautiful. When I was a younger man.
Fantastic.
So it's the same thing again. If there's a demand.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll promote the hell of it. I'm on YouTube. I've got literally 6 music sites, and they're all over 1 million views. So
Wow.
they're all very, very popular.
Oh, well done.
I promote everybody on those sites. Yeah, we'll just I'll leave your book up on the site where everybody can see it, and I'll just leave it there forever. How's that?
Yeah. Have you got a picture of it?
Yeah.
Do you take a picture of it? Yeah.
I need a picture of it, but I'll go to the website. I'll go to the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the website.
And it's a real in-depth biography, or if you like to call it biography.
Yeah.
But lots of great photos,
Good.
posters, and everything. Dire Straits supported us and that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good history, really.
I tell you what, Derek, I've talked to a lot of guys, and I said you should do this and you should do that, and they all happen. So I think something's going to happen with you. You're going to either be on one of these tours with 4 or 5 other bands. You'll be on a cruise, or you'll be out on your own. Because we need Climax Blues Band. They're nowhere. I mean, like you said, there's a phony band out there. We got to discount them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that when there's not an original member in the band. I can't stand that. I'm from the old school.
They told me I couldn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, get that. I said, what do you mean I can't do it? I wrote the bloody songs.
How are you going to do it? Do they own the name?
Yeah, the sad thing is somebody registered the name in the UK.
Gosh, that's crazy.
But no, well, I won't say any more than that.
Yeah. Well, get your attorney on it, and you can always tweak the name, Yeah. Like Mark Farner did the same thing with Grand Funk. He can't use Grand Funk Railroad, but he used Mark Farner's American Band. That's how he tours. And everybody knows Grand Funk is Mark Farner.
Well, that's clever. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's ways. I'm sure there's many ways to get around it.
Oh yeah, you can tweak it.
But we just got to light the fire.
Exactly. Well, I'll do what I can on my end.
Thanks, Ray.
All right,
Yeah, man.
Derek. Good luck to you, man. Enjoy
Yeah.
enjoy Spain.
Yeah,
Next time when you do come to the US, I hope to meet you and we'll have a beer or some wine together. How's
that
that?
would be fantastic, and I'll hold you to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man.
Well, good luck and stay well and safe.
You too. You
And
too.
I hope you remain well.
Thank you, Derek.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
All the